Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
The countdown to the season premiere of the century has begun. Swap Meet. They laugh together. They cry together. They sleep together. And new this season because the scriptwriters ran out of ideas, Sonar the Dolphin is living in the bathtub.
Ah, my bed smells like fish! That is not funny! You like my new haircut?
Swap Meet. Thursday nights right after the season premiere of The Coolest Cat of Vinewood. It's Bad T and Theo in the hysterical urban meets upscale sitcom that combines drive-by shootings and polo.
Yeah, boy, that's my horse right there. I'll whip your ass in cricket, too.
Thursday nights on Weasel.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. I didn't think it was my time to open, but I am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt. I'm doing it out of order now because I made a comment. It's episode 398. That's 2 away from 200. So, hey, if you don't listen later or I forget to say it later, drop in some stuff in the Discord, in the Patreon, drop them some things and tell us how great we are, how amazing we are, that we made it to 400 episodes and how proud you are of us because you only got 2 weeks to do it. And the other person that you can say all that stuff to, it's the Light Bear, the Light Bear, bring the Beastmaster Third Shift. It's Eric. He's here to tell us how his week was, even though he and I already know, and if you're on the Patreon, you kind of already know. Hey, Eric, how was your week, though, buddy?
Well, let me just say this. You corrected yourself, so we're going to let it go, but you did say for our 200th episode the first time around.
Uh-oh.
So I was gonna get on you about that because I don't know when you went back in time. I don't know where you went, but I want to go, too. So take me back. Take me back.
Take me back. That's the City Hunter song, background song. You're right, I totally did. But it's because I remember the glory days of the 200 when we got submissions from everybody. 100, 200, 300. I think Howard even did a big special thing for 300. Mm-hmm. I'm awash in the memories of the good times. So bring the good times on to us, people.
Bring them on again for 400, folks. 400. That's like turning 40. It's a special occasion. Men start to lose who they are and they want to redo themselves. Mm-hmm. Women, they think they've lost everything and they want to kill themselves. It's kind of like 400. You know, we don't know what we are anymore. We're just like, I don't know. What are we? We're a thing. Help us identify ourselves.
Let me say that, but I like the podcast more now than what we used to do.
Oh, I do too. I'm just saying a bit for fun. I don't know. If it gets the people to respond, man, that's all I care about.
It's true. It's like a good midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, what are we doing nowadays? Oh, we're way better off than we were back then. Okay.
That's right.
Cool. Awesome.
It's a good thing to be. And, of course, way back when, as in this last week, well, what have I done? I've gone to work, folks. I've done boring things like that. I've done real-life things. What have I done? I don't know. Did I do anything this weekend? I did not. I think I did nothing this weekend except watch some shows, play some video games. Now, I'll tell you, I got Netflix back, folks. I did it. After all this time, we had a big old birthday hoo-ha for the wife. It was great. It was fun. She got to eat some good food. We all got to eat good food and had a merry time with friends and fam around the house. Well, fish fam. I didn't invite friends over this time around, but it was a good time. Did all that. Got her a new TV. Got it all installed in the bedroom. She was loving it. You know what that did, though? They made her have to get Netflix in that bedroom. Well, you need your login and your password. So it finally motivated them to figure out what it was, which in turn got me the login and password. After almost a year of paying for Netflix and not watching it, I got it back again. Yes. So I started watching Parasite Grey. I started watching, I don't know, like 4 different shows. I was like a fiend. Just started watching an episode of this one, watching an episode of that one. Oh, which one do I watch? Which one do I binge first? Which one? So who knows where I'll settle, but let's just be said, I got on Netflix, and I'm so happy about it. I get to see shows again over there. And they had a Trigger developed anime over there, Deliciousness in Dungeon, that I've been looking so forward to. I mulched down a few of those episodes, and they didn't disappoint. Very mild, though, for Trigger. So far. Maybe something spins up and goes crazy, but Trigger's usually pretty out there, and wacky and crazy, and it isn't typical Trigger right now, which I'm fine with. It's still really good. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I'm playing the same game I've been playing for 3 months, which, if you're a patron, you already know, is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I talked about it a whole bunch yesterday. So unfortunately for you gumbos, you're not going to get a whole bunch today because I don't feel like repeating it all again. I will just say that I'm still there, but I won't be there next week. It's a promise. We're going to be done with this game. It is a fantastic game, but it's a long game. So you better have a lot of time in your hands if you want to do it. You're a hobo. Well, I don't know what you got to do, but that's how you're going to get through that game if you want to. And last but not least, I started up Stellar Blade. And I will repeat this little part. I started on easy mode, folks. First game in my life that I have started on easy. Story mode and my way right through. I'm not worried about it. I ain't trying to play hard. And it feels great. Will I continue this? Absolutely not. Will I let this be what I do for most games? No. Because this is fun and this is great. And the only reason I'm doing it is just like I said on the Patreon special is because I knew, 100% knew, I would never finish this game if I didn't do it this way. I would bail after probably the third, fourth boss when things started getting really crazy. And then I would just never touch it again because I've got, like we always talk about, a million other games I should be playing. So I'm just treating myself to a special story mode time in a beautiful, wonderful world that's gone bananas. And I just want to get in the story and see what happened to these poor humans. So with that being said, Matt, that's pretty much it this week. What about you, E?
Just like you, I don't think I did anything at all this weekend. I played some games, which I'll talk about in a second. But before the weekend happened, the reason we had to do a Wednesday show last week is because I went to the Wharton Center, to their Club 750 venue, which is like in the Jackson Lounge upstairs, and I saw a group called Public Quartet, which was a quartet, like 2 violins, cello, and a viola, and they do all kinds of different stuff. Like they do kind of spins on classical music, they do a lot of jazz music, and they do a lot of improvisation in between, which was weird. Because they did like this jazz medley from like jazz songs throughout the years. And some of them would even like sing, and it was really cool. And they would do the percussion like on their instrument. It was really cool, really awesome. They would hit those jazz medleys. I was like, yeah, here we go. You know, I was bopping in my chair and doing my thing. And then they'd kind of get to the, hey, we're going to improvise before we get to the next one. And I'm not going to say it was bad. I'm not going to say, you know, they're great, talented people, but that part just wasn't for me. Because a lot of it was just kind of, you know, there's like a meme where like, here's what you think jazz is, and it's people playing a regular song. And then it like cuts, this is what jazz really is. And it's just kind of people noodling around and it doesn't sound good. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, we're going from do, 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 oh, we're rocking and rolling to, ha, ba-da-da-do, ba-da-da-do, da-da-da. It was ups and downs, but they closed off the concert great. Like the back half of it was all just awesome stuff. I was moving, I was grooving. The improvisation went down a little bit in that part, and it was just rocking and flowing and moving. And they have food at that venue, which was also really good. Kind of expensive, but still pretty good. Drinks, and it was just a great time. It's always fun to just kind of go to a place I've been a million times before, but in a new little venue, kind of have a jazz club kind of a vibe, get a special drink, get some special food. And it was a great time. Great show. I loved it. On the video game front, won't talk too much about any of this stuff because, like you said, like I said, we talked about it on the What You Playing literally just a day ago. But I've been playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, just doing my dailies, but I'm at the point where I'm done farming for this episode of the season, ready for the next one. But I'm still going to do my dailies because I'm almost done with the Battle Pass, so that'll feel good. And let's see, played some Unicorn Overlord. Feeling real weird about that right now. Like, there's a lot more to go, but I don't know if I have the patience to keep doing it. Maybe I'll do a Stellar Blade and turn it down just like I've played some RPGs on easy before just to get them done faster. Mm-hmm. Like, you know that. Like, I did it with Witcher 3's combat. I did it with the Outer Worlds just because, especially that one, I was doing it on stream. I just want to have fun. I want to pick up a cool gun and blow people away and do my dialogue stuff. So maybe I'll just do that here and just kind of send the A-team out and run through it to see the end because I like the story. I like the characters. I like my units. But the battles just take too long. They take too long for me right now because there's too many games out there. Then I got into a big funk because of that feeling and not knowing what to do. And I solved it with a certain game that I'm going to talk about later in the episode. It's the release, even though it was released a long time ago. I'm going to tell you about it when we get to that point.
Yeah, this guy's cheating. You know why he's cheating? Because the pickings are slim out there, folks. All right? You go to the new game releases, you go search around, you ain't finding much of nothing. You ain't finding much of nothing, all right?
I mean, you do say that, but I think Noisy Pixel released like 4 reviews yesterday.
They did.
So there's stuff. But
There's stuff, but you're going way deep into the indie land. That's where you're going if you want to find anything. There ain't no big releases. There's no AAA stuff coming. The only thing I found of any note was Endless Ocean Luminous for the Nintendo Switch. It's out May 2nd, which will be, of course, probably when you're listening to this or a little bit after, so you can go pick it up right then and there. I must warn you, though, I watched a few reviews, and unfortunately, this game is not charting real well, but there's a brightness in the dark, all right? So that's the only reason I'm even mentioning this game, because it's not for me, but I was interested in the ocean portion. You know, it's always cool when you get a game that allows you just to explore the ocean's depths and see the mysteries that are there. We've all, as humans, been fascinated with the ocean. So whenever they give you that opportunity, it's fantastic and fun. So the good thing that everyone does talk about in their reviews is that if you just want a calm, chill time to let your brain turn off and do nothing, this game is perfect. It's fine. It's wonderful. Tons of beautiful fish and whatnot in the ocean for you to go. You scan them, you identify them. It gives you little blurbs about what they are and what they do and their habitat. And then you swim away and you go do this over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that's all you do in this game. That's it. That's literally it. That's your existence.
I'm so glad I didn't realize this was out, because I would have picked this up, and this would have been the thing that got me out of my funk. I'm just going to swim around and do stuff, because I love the Endless Ocean 1 and 2, because that's all you had to do.
Yep.
And something about it, when this was announced, I was excited. I didn't realize it was here, but now I'm already hip deep in something else. But I'm glad that it continues to be what it is.
It exists, and it's doing what it is.
Yeah.
So if you like going underwater as a scuba diver and checking out cool exotic fish, plants, etc., this is it for you, all right? Nobody complained about the graphics. Nobody complained really about the environments themselves. It was just that this game is very, very, very simple. And just bottom bare basics is what it is. So I just wanted to bring it up to you. If you want a game just to chill with, just do nothing with, this is it. Go check out some Endless Ocean Luminous for Nintendo Switch. But just be warned, if you want some cool adventure, you want sharks coming and attacking you, and you want harpoons, it does none of this. It's not happening. So don't think it's going to. Don't get it twisted. Just letting you know.
And you want to talk about a game you can kind of just chill out and do nothing with, even though you are doing a thing. It's the game that got me out of my gaming funk this week. It's Balatro. And I'm not going to say or Balatro, because I even looked it up. And the guy who created it said, pronounce it however you want. So Balatro is here. Actually, it's been here for a while. It came out in February 20th. Developed by one man who goes by Local Funk. Published by PlayStack for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. It's out for Mac, for God's sakes. And I think he said that Android and iOS will be coming at some point. This is a game that it's a roguelike. It's a deck builder. But it basically, the way you play it is you play poker hands. The whole theming of it is kind of you're playing an old video poker machine, because the graphics are pixel art style. They got like curves on the edges like you're looking at a CRT. It's got the scan lines. It's got everything. So you're dealt a hand of cards. I think you start with 8, and you just play poker hands. You have a number of discards you can do, and you put up, a straight or 2-pair or whatever, and you're scored based on that. And the beauty of it is, like, how is that a roguelike? How does that make any sense? You're scored on your poker hands and what you play. That earns you chips, and you have to beat a certain amount of chips to move on to the next round, I think. Round is the whole thing. You move on to the next opponent, essentially, in quote fingers. So if you play like 2-pair, it'll start off with a certain number of chips that you get and a certain multiplier. So 2-pair will get you, for example, like 20 chips at a 2 times multiplier. So that's the base you get for scoring that. But as you play your cards, like if you play 2 10s and 2 4s, each 10 will get you 10 chips on top of the base level of chips. And the 4s, same thing, 2 4s, blah, blah, blah. And then it adds up, and then you get that amount of chips. If you beat the limit that you need to beat in the 5 or so hands that you have to play, then you move on to the next one. And the score keeps going up each round. Every 3 rounds, I'm going to use quote fingers, fight a boss, because you have specific conditions in that game, essentially, that you're playing. Maybe face cards are always dealt face down. So you have 4 face down cards. It could be King, Queen, Jack, could be 4 jacks, could be what, who knows. Maybe all of your clubs are debuffed, or your diamonds, or your hearts, or your spades. So when you put those out, those don't earn you any points. and they don't get any cool abilities. Cool abilities, what are you talking about, Matt? That's what makes this game so much fun. So you're playing poker hands, pretty easy, pretty simple. How do you make that cooler? Well, you make that cooler by after you finish your first round, you earn some money. After each round you do, you earn money after you beat that score. And you can spend that money to buy jokers. And what jokers do, they do something. After each round that you score, after each hand that you score, they do something. Some of them are as easy as, if you play an ace, it doubles the ace. If you choose this joker and have it in your little pile of jokers, then you have one extra hand. You have one extra discard. You have one extra this, that, or that. But some of them go crazy. Like every odd card you play in whatever hand you put out there, it gets you X amount of coins. It gets you X amount of multiplier. And that's where it goes crazy. Because at base, you can have 5 jokers. So after 5 rounds, you can start going nuts with these cards. Because if 2 pair gets you 20 at 2 times multiplier, but you put out 4 even cards, and each even card gets you 50 extra coins, that's 200 extra coins base. Plus you have jokers that with even cards get you 4 times multiplier for each even card you do. Bing, 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 bing. It goes nuts. It goes so crazy and so fun. You start opening up packs of cards because you can buy jokers, you can buy packs of cards. Those cards can have special abilities. You can open tarot packs, which alter the cards in your deck. So now it's shiny, now it's gold, now it's this, now it's that, now it's a multiplier, now it's a wild card. You can use it as any suit. You can open up celestial packs that are based on the planets, and that levels up the base level and multiplier of the types of things you can score. It gets so crazy. It gets so nuts. You're unlocking different decks that have themselves like a unique thing. I think the first deck you start with, you get an extra hand to play each game you do. The next one, it's an extra discard, and you can get jokers that play off for your number of discards. Just the thing that I played over lunch today, it was like 40 coins for every discard you have left. So if I had 6 discards left, that's 240 coins every single hand. And I had other ones that were like, if you have no discards left, it's a 15 times multiplier added into whatever multiplier you got from all the other jokers. So it adds 15 to that. If you just are throwing stuff away and then bam, 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 bam. It's so good. It's so fun. When you go on a run, it's just like any other roguelike. When you're just like, I have no idea how I'm doing this, and it feels so good. It feels so great. I will say the only thing, it's not like visually popping, sparkles and bams and stuff, but it doesn't really need to be, but I think that would take it over the top. If you put down stuff and cards were like exploding with stuff, it's pretty simple presentation, but it looks good. The music's good. It's nice and relaxing, but chill, but kind of bumping a little bit. It's just how you want to be playing cards over and over and over again. And the effects you can put on your cards and the way some of your runs will be completely different from any other run. Like I had one where a joker treated all cards as face cards. The next joker I picked up, all face cards turned into golden cards. So every card I played turned into golden cards. So I'm sitting there after like 2 rounds with a deck full of gold cards, which if they're in your hand at the end of the round, score you money. So I was just buying stuff left and right and center and upgrading this and upgrading that and sell that joker because I just found one that's even crazier than that and upgrade this and this and this. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's so much fun though. Like if you don't like cards, if you don't like playing poker, it's not about that. It's about finding ways to screw with everything. And it's so much fun. It's so good. I'm so glad I found it. And I'll say this too. We mentioned it on the What You Playing also. I think right now it still is. If you're in the PlayStation Stars program on PlayStation where you get rewarded for buying stuff on the PlayStation Store, it's up there and you can just redeem your points and get it for free. I think it's only $20 otherwise, which is a great value for all the fun that I've been having. But if you're in PlayStation Stars and you got the points for it, highly recommend it. Definitely get it. And then even if you don't like it, you just spent some points you weren't spending anyway. You got it for free, essentially. And if you do love it, let me know. Tell me how much you love it. And thank me for recommending it to you. It's Balatro. Everybody should play it. It's simple. It's easy. It's fun. It's not hard to think about. It's easy to pick up because you see the things going and you can move your cursor all around the screen and figure out, if you've never played poker before, it's got a cheat sheet for that. It's got this, it's got that. If you forget what that joker in the middle does, boop, just hover up. It'll tell you. It's great. It's fun. It's simple. It's easy. It's wild. It's Balatro. Everybody should play it.
Man, you want to talk about free, Matt? Ooh, boy. Well, let me tell you, you'd be a damn joker yourself if you didn't head on over to Epic and pick up the free games this week, everybody. It's Cat Quest 2 and Orcs Must Die 3. What's this game? What's that game? Eric doesn't know. Does Matt know? But I can tell you they're free, and that's all you should need to know, really.
Matt knows what both of these games are, and you know what Cat Quest is because we talked about it last week. And I will say this is smart. This is the way to do it because Cat Quest 3 got announced like a week or two ago. Everybody's still thinking about it and scrambling about it, going, man, there's a demo out. So I even played the demo, and that's pretty cool. But now look, you can play the full previous game for free on Epic.
Free.
And if you haven't played Orcs Must Die 1 or 2, it's essentially a wave-based, not really tower defense because you're a third-person character in there, but like your castle keep is getting overrun by orcs, and you're the guy with a bow or a lady with a bow, and you're putting down traps and stuff to kill all the orcs and keep them from getting to the Nexus or whatever. First 2 games were a lot of fun. I played them on 360, I think, way back in the day. Orcs Must Die 3, it's 3 more. You gotta have more orcs, and you gotta have more stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, while you're inside that fort, Matt, paying attention, waiting for them to come attack you, you're watching Amazon, ain't you?
That's right.
You got Amazon. You all got it. So head on over to Amazon Prime, folks, that you all got, and get yourself some Tiny Robots Recharge, Living Legends, Fallen Sky, Vlad's Circus, Descend into Madness is the other, and the last one you can get. Wow, these sound like some games, Matt.
Let me tell you all about these games, too. I got the hookup. I'm with you. Oh, man, we got it. Vlad's Circus, Descend into Madness. It's a game all about a twisted, like, freak show circus back in, like, the 1920s, and paranormal stuff is happening, and weird, crazy things are going on, and it's dark, and it's scary, and it's spookericious. So if you want a twisted, weird, crazy time, check out Vlad's Circus Descend into Madness. If you're a more casual game player, if you love hidden object games, that's Living Legends Fallen Sky. I did my due diligence. I looked at this, and I figured it out, and I went, hey, this is exactly what that is. It looks nice. It looks pretty. If you love those kinds of games, my friend out in California does. She loves them. She should play this. You should play it too. Tiny Robots Recharged. I have no idea what this is. I even looked on the store page. I read the summary, and it was like, hey, you're a robot. Watch out. Bad guys got your buddy. You can do it. And I went, okay. What do the screenshots show me? Like nothing. It looks like maybe a puzzle game. Like maybe you build robots. Maybe you don't. Maybe you pull levers. Maybe you turn switches. I have no idea. I got nothing on this one. I got nothing.
That's okay. It's free, Matt. That's up to you, folks. Be not lazy. Be productive. Go get free games. Go get them. Now, something else that was definitely not free, Matt. And it's not happening anymore.
So
it
it
doesn't
is
matter.
Free. It's free now because you don't have to pay for it because you don't experience it. Yes.
That's right. BlizzCon 2024 was canceled, everybody. If you were sitting there in your house going, oh, gee willikers, they're finally coming back after all these years. I should go to it. That'll be an experience. Nope, not happening. They came out with a big blurb, got posted up on the Twitters and everywhere else, and they said, hey, we've looked at the world, we've looked at the gaming climate, we've looked at this, and we've decided that it's just not the best thing for us to do right now is have a BlizzCon. So we're going to cancel it. But don't worry, fret not. Our games, we're going to still showcase them in other events throughout the year, like Gamescom, so on and so forth. So look forward to that. And then they, of course, just mentioned a few of said games, like, World of Warcraft's next expansion, Diablo 4, expansion, stuff like that, so on and so forth. But the point is, and the only reason I really bring it up is, first of all, it's a huge event, got canceled. Secondly, it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. This is a gosh dang. Oh, it's happening all over again, man. It's all over. It's just. I hate to see it. I hate to see a big event like this just crashing and never getting just back on its feet. But that's BlizzCon, folks. It's not coming back. If it does, and you prove me wrong, you still ain't gonna prove me wrong because it ain't gonna be BlizzCon as you know it. It's gonna be some kind of weird, just small event where hardcore people go play tournaments and just play games and hang out together, basically as a love letter to the Blizzard themselves. It is not going to be an event where they showcase all their hottest and greatest because Xbox is going to have them showcasing that crap throughout all their different events this year and next year.
I saw BlizzCon get canceled for 2024, and I went, okay, what were they going to show off anyway? Like, what new game is going to come out this year? Nothing. Like, if they did one, I don't remember if they did one last year. It should have been last year when Diablo 4 came out. And then they should take like a 2-year break until Overwatch 3 or whatever the heck Magoo, or a World of Warcraft expansion.
You mean Overwatch 2, right? You mean Overwatch 2?
Well, I mean, they would say it's Overwatch
like
3.
the real Overwatch 2, not the like the fake one they released, like a real part 2.
But something like that. Like, this should be like every 5 years. Hey, BlizzCon is here because they have a big announcement. Because their games take forever.
They do.
New games don't come out but once every 5 years anyway. So that's what it should have been. That's what it should be. So when I saw it, I went, what are they going to talk about? The games that everybody hates right now? Great. Awesome. Cool. But then I did think, and I went, don't say something like that, because there is something really interesting happening right now in Overwatch 2. And I thought about tweeting it at you, and I went, we're never going to play it. It doesn't matter. There's Mirror Watch right now, because there's a bunch of heroes that have totally reworked abilities. But what makes me mad is, one, it's only like 10 heroes. It's not all of them. It's cool PvP mode, it's a specialty thing where their abilities are totally reworked, or they have totally new abilities. And I went, that's the kind of thing that can get me into it. What does Moira have? She's not in the event. Oh, Mercy is, but where's my girl?
Mercy is, that's right.
But where's my girl, though? But that's the kind of thing that could get people interested, could get me interested. If you have a special mode, maybe, like the mode off to the side, put it in the arcade mode. Keep Mirror Watch around, and then every year add to it. And when you finally get to Moira, I'll finally reinstall and play it. Because it's just a spin on characters and you get it. That's interesting. There's all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. So it looks cool.
I will add to this, just so the Blizzard folks out there don't decide to rip you apart. Blizzard, of course, as you did say, realistically, doesn't put out games very often. But that's not why people go to BlizzCon. They go to BlizzCon for the expansions. So Diablo's next expansion, everyone's going to lose their frickin' minds for. World of Warcraft's next expansion, War Within, everyone's losing their minds for already. That the Blizz heads, man, these Blizzard freaks, that's what they go. They love these expansions. They don't need a new title to get them hyped up and salivating. They just need a new expansion on a game that already has existed for years and years.
And I'll give you that. That's fair. But is Diablo 4 going to do that anymore? Because you already had Season 1 and Season 2 already. And
seasons, but the expansions
and people went like, that's neat. And then like a week later.
And then gone.
Everyone was done with it. Mm-hmm. So sure, maybe, but it doesn't make sense. I get it. I know people do get excited about that stuff. And especially World of Warcraft, because you can live in that for a month or so or whatever. But drop the big one. Or save it up. Here's 2. We got Diablo and World of Warcraft. So if you like the toppy-downy, clicky-pointy, that's the one you got to go to. Next year, we're going to have an Overwatch thing. And do they have another shooter? I don't know. Some other damn thing. Who knows? It's the Heroes of the Storm one.
Warcraft.
Here's the Hearthstone
Diablo.
one. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Hearthstone's dead.
It can't be dead.
Hearthstone's alive and well. It's fine. I was just making that up.
I was going to say, I should have said Heroes of the Storm is dead, but that's
that one is dead. That one is gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Seriously? I didn't know
It's
that.
unfortunate. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Huh.
They canked it. Which I think is sad because I thought it was a fine game. It was cool. It was neat. But whatever. So yeah, no, overall though, I do agree. I don't think the luster's there for that kind of event anymore. So I just, and they even said it in the thing, like I said, no, we've looked at the climate. We've looked at the, and fluffy words. It's basically, I just don't think we've got that kind of pull anymore to be doing these gigantic shows every year. So they're not going to. And then, of course, what that usually means for most things is that it just never does come back. And then you just hear about cool events. Because guess what? Xbox has how many showcases throughout the year? How many events throughout the year? Plenty of them. Are they a huge participator in the Gamescom? Yes, they are. Do they participate in Game Awards and everything else? Yes, they do. So I just foresee them getting lumped in and used just like any other gun in Xbox's arsenal. All right, Blizzard, you're going to pull the trigger right on this one and this one. All right, id, you're going to be over here and here. Bethesda, you're going to get your own event showcasing this. Da-da-da-da-da. Which, before we get into your last little bit here, I will say, and I don't have it pulled up, but maybe offhand, the Xbox Showcase is coming up in June 4th, right? June 4th?
Or 9th? Or
9th? It's early June, folks.
It's a single-digit date in June, yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? Jeez, oh, Pete. I thought the Xbox Guru was going to save my butt on this one, but Xbox Showcase is coming June 9th. There it is. June 9th,
right.
Xbox Showcase. So you're going to hear all about some Xbox games coming up then. And then not only that, there's apparently a special event right after, which is like codenamed Cerberus. So everyone just suspects it's the next Call of Duty because Cerberus apparently has some ties in with Black Ops or something. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duties, but I guess get hyped because you're getting some Call of Duty action along with whatever Xbox reveals at this event. So it might be a Blizzard game tossed in there somewhere. Who the hell knows?
I do love that I Googled Xbox Showcase, and it pulls up, it's got the little panes and whatever. First pane, Xbox Game Showcase, followed by a Call of Duty Direct. Very one underneath it, Xbox Game Showcase and a Mystery Direct. The next one over, a special deep dive into the next installment of a beloved franchise. So we're calling it. We're not calling it. Maybe that's it. Who knows? I used a Call of Duty screenshot, so I think that's what it is, but I'm not going to say it. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And I will dial it back. That's what I got distracted by. Heroes of the Storm isn't dead.
They're not doing anything for it.
Yeah. You can still play it, though. And that's why I was flailing my hands, because, why would you take away a more casual, friendly League of Legends? Just keep it there forever. Who cares? Because it's always a good option for players, and then you can graduate and become a big boy and play the real man's game. Anyway, we talked about Xbox having showcases. We talked about presentations. We talked about shows. That's what happened this week. 2 days ago? 3 days ago? I don't remember when it was.
April 29th, folks. It's May 1st right now, so you're talking 2 days ago.
It was the ID at Xbox showcase, which I had trouble finding. I went on YouTube, typed in ID at Xbox, and what came up was a 3-hour IGN video. And I went, that's not it. I know what they do. They fluff out 3 hours or 2.5 hours of commercials for a 30-minute showcase. Where is it? And I went on Xbox, and it wasn't there. So this is an IGN thing. But I will tell you, if you click on that 3-hour showcase, it starts at 58 minutes, and it ends at 140 something. And I pulled out a bunch of good stuff in this, but I have to say, overall, the showcase is too weird. It's too weird. If you go and watch it, I'm one of those top comments on there, because all the dialogue for the hosts, it sounds and it looks and it feels completely 80-yard. It's like they went into the studio, recorded their bits with their lav mics on. You can see them on their clothing, but it doesn't sound like that studio sounds. I'm not even a big IGN guy, but I know what that sounds like. And I don't know if they just treated the audio afterwards or something, but it sounds like they went in and said it, and then they went, uh-oh, Sally's mic wasn't on, or Ricky's mic wasn't on. Everybody get into the podcast studio and start recording just like this. And then the natural flow and feel will be completely gone, but we'll still say all the exact same things in the exact same manner. It's so weird. It's so weird. But they did show off a lot of cool games. And I'm going to tell you one of them right now, right off the bat. It was right near the front. It was a game called Centum, which was a pixel art, weird horror game that looks like an alternate world is happening, and you're in this near future, and crazy stuff is happening. It looked scary, it looked creepy. But again, my one little nitpick, they didn't format the trailer for the right size of the screen that it was showing on. I was watching it on my iPad, and the top and bottom are getting cut off, text is running off the screen. And even when it puts up, it says Centum, coming soon. And the developer names were cut off on the bottom because they sent the trailer that was too tall, and they squashed it down. It was so weird. But the game looked great. The art looked crazy. It looked creepy as flip. It looked awesome.
Now, see, I'm surprised you mentioned this because, I've never heard of a love Matt has for the reason why I was going to bring this one up myself. It's a point-and-click adventure. 8-bit. 8-bit, folks, point-and-click adventure. And I grew up on those. I loved point-and-click adventures. I loved the 8-bit era of those. I've talked about it a million times over the years on the show. So, of course, I'm in the same boat. I saw it, man. I went, oh, this is weird. It's dark. It's 8-bit point and click. What can go wrong here? And then not only is it weird and dark, but has that reality thing going where 1 minute you're in some kind of dank dungeon and things are looking pretty grim. Next minute you're in a house. 1 minute you're on a road doing some rad racer action. Next minute you're in some weird forest in the middle of nowhere. It's that type of weird. And I'm looking forward to it.
And you're looking at the portrait of a dude, and then it does the flicker, and his eyes are all bloody, and his teeth are hanging out, and it's oh, and then he's back to normal talking to you. Now, granted, these aren't my kind of games because spooks and ahs and eeks, but it just looked so cool. And like you said, the total different graphical styles, and you're driving down Rad Racer Road, and now you're doing this. Now there's the screen is full of this giant, beautiful pixel art person that you're talking to.
And it's got the strange creature who's aware of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming up to the thing and talking at you while it's hidden behind those stone walls. I love that sort of stuff when kind of brings the player into the game and then you don't know how to react to that. And of course, if they are true to old school 8-bit point and clicks, There's just going to be so many times where you're trying to go, what in the hell? How do I get this to move to here to get out of this room or get through this doorway before this thing gets to me and consumes me or does whatever it's going to do to me?
I was going to say, especially with all the spooks and all the weirds, what if, when you're doing your little, press every item up against every piece of the screen, what if when you do that, some weird stuff happens and like a little creature comes out and scratches you or steals your item or does something weird and wild? Who knows? It looks crazy. It looks wild.
Yeah, take inspiration from Uninvited. Like if your candle, starts to go, oh, that's Shadowgate. But Uninvited does a similar thing where like the madness hits if too many ghosts or too many events happen to you while you're playing. They've all got their own little ways to make you feel pressured. So I'm sure this one's going to do the same. Can't wait. Now here's an alternate reality game. I really like what it's doing. I really wish I could play it, but it's not going to get played. It's 33 Immortals. We've talked about this one before, and it's been showcased before, but they've got the closed beta coming up late May 24th to be exact. And this is one of those games I dream about playing. I wish I had friends in the number that would even closely resemble 33, but you can take 33 of your friends, 32 and you, into this wonderful, cool roguelite adventure and just go ham. And that to me sounds fun, because now it ain't all on me and my skills to get through. I'm relying on me and my buds and pals, and we're all laughing and idiots are dying and we're just making fun of them, and it's a whole thing. That sounds like a hoot. And I wish that we had friends, and I wish I could play this game. But I'm in an alternate reality where I never got a lot of friends. And
I agree with you on that. It looks really cool, and I love the idea of somebody starts casting a spell, and two of your buddies have to run and stand on the sigils on the floor. And I went, that's so cool. I would love to play this game, but I would play a mage, and I would go, all right, here it comes. I'm casting magic arrow. Everybody stand in the arrow shape with me. And everyone would just run and stand in fire and fall off the edge. Like, there is one guy, I was watching the gameplay when they're fighting the big boss. There's one dude who just stands at the front and just hits it in the chest over and over. And an attack comes and he just stands there doing it. I'm like, yeah, that would be everybody.
That's everybody.
I'd be like, hey, let's cast a spell. I'm casting protection. Anybody want to? No. We punch it.
We'll just hit it and we'll win.
Why'd it get hit? Why'd it get hit? You got to heal me better than that. No. It's too much, but it looks cool. It looks cool. Another game that looks cool is a Total Mat game. Total Mat game, I believe it's called Key Locker. This is a pixel art, isometric, the cyberpunk future, and you're a musician, and you have like this jukebox robot that you're with, and like every piece of the turn-based combat you're doing, it's rhythm-based or timing-based. There's like Guitar Hero type segments, like literally Guitar Hero segments, and then there's like Dance Dance Revolution, hit the arrows, go in different ways segments to trigger your abilities. I think even just the attacks in the turn-based segments are timing-based, like Paper Mario type of thing. It looked cool. The pixel art looked great. I love the neon cyberpunk aesthetic of it. The characters, like the character portraits, looked really cool. Like, I'm not sure what the story is going to be about. You see some stuff and they're like, oh man, she's sentenced to death for playing music, and maybe you're just kind of fighting the big brother overlord. But I love the style. I love rhythm games. So to put that in with a turn-based RPG type of a game, you have my interest. I put a star next to it. Just the mechanics and seeing rhythm and cyberpunk and neon and pixel art and beautiful and probably bumping music to go with it looked great. Key Locker. That's one that I picked out.
That was also one that piqued my interest when I was looking through all the trailers, trying to find, which ones that I thought would be something I'd be interested in. But the only other one besides that one that I actually was like, it may be, was Farah, the Sundered Tribes. And it got my attention because, of course, you're fighting a bunch of big monsters. And you know me, I love fighting big monsters and doing stuff. But then it got me a little scared because it goes into, manage your tribe and build the building, develop your housing. And I went, oh my God, does every game have to do this now? Is this just what we are? Hey, I got this really cool thing we're doing, but everything, you gotta always build your village and tribe now. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I said, Eric, calm down. I'm sure a big part of this is going to be killing the monsters to get materials to then build the town and develop your tribe and do all the doohickeys. You like killing the monsters, so that at least that part is fun. It's not you hitting down trees constantly and doing all that. So maybe there's a balance in here that you can get me on board with. Plus, it's gorgeous. The visuals on this thing are colorful everywhere. It's beautiful. It looks fantastic. You get to fly around like you did in Wild Hearts, which is really cool. I love that aspect of it. So, you know what? If you're in the mood for a Monster Hunter Village type game and you want some fun in that, maybe this might be it. I'm going to keep my eye on it, but we'll have to get deeper in for me to say yay or nay for sure.
Well, if that's your last one, I got 3 more, but 2 are really quick hit ones. One is the Vampire Survivors Laboratory update. Now, they talked about the Contra update, which we've seen and talked about already, but I love the way that Vampire Survivors, I love the way it does everything, but I love the snarky tone of this trailer. Like, oh, hey, we've got improved animations, and you see, like, the 2 animation frames. Oh, we got a cool running animation, and it's like a little jiggledy hop. And, oh, man, we can open doors now. Woo, and yay, woo! Beautiful. So just, I mean, I'm excited for more Vampire Survivors because the game is great, and like seeing the train just blast through all the enemies, that I know that's going to be a ton of fun. Riding the train cars, the little minecart segment, it'll be fun. But I just loved the tone. Loved it. Another trailer that didn't show anything except for the feel of the game is Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which was entirely from like a camera perspective of a teenager like in the 90s or maybe like late 80s. And, you know, there was film grain effect, and she was kind of going around her small town. You kind of had the feeling that this was like the end of summer or like they just graduated and she's going to leave this town. But it just had a good feeling of like that nostalgic in a right way. Hey, we're actual teenagers from the 90s or the 80s or whatever. And it didn't show anything other than when she flipped the camera around and said, hey, if you find this, it means that I'm dead. But then she laughed. So it might just be a slice of life type of, you know, you're going to leave town type of thing, but I thought the feel of that trailer was great. And Don't Nod makes awesome stuff, so it's, you know, it's going to be emotionally charged. It's going to be this and that. But it looked cool. It looked interesting. It had all the right vibes. And speaking of having all the right vibes, but in the weirdest way, the weirdest vibes. I love weird vibes. Promise Mascot Agency. Like you're a former Yakuza leader who's had everything ripped away from him, and he goes and is put in charge of a weird mascot agency for misfit failed mascots. Like one of the ones they show is like, hey, I'm Tofu-san. I'm this like degrading brick of tofu. And everything from that point just goes crazy. Like it shows, oh, Tofu Man versus a too small door. And there's like management aspects to it. And you're choosing what he's going to do against this door. And then it shows him a 3D model stuck in the door. And it shows you driving through this crazy town and like a mascot sitting in the back shooting off a turret, and then you're like flying the car and shooting turrets. I have no idea what's going on here, but it just looks weird and wacky in that like No More Heroes or Suda 51 type of a way. Like this is going to be nuts. It's going to be weird. Probably a lot of the systems aren't going to come together well. It's going to fall apart, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it feels weird and it feels wacky and it feels like a game you're not going to see anywhere else. So it at least has my interest. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see it when it comes out. Hopefully it's going to be good. And hopefully it's one of those games where weird systems come together in weird ways. And it's got a heartwarming story about these misfit mascots. I don't know. But it just looked nuts in a No More Heroes way. And if you know No More Heroes, there's nothing else to say.
That's one I was going to watch too. I should have watched that one. Dang it, Matt. Dang it. I scrolled past that one when I was checking them out and I went, that one looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll come back to it. Didn't get back to it. So I'll definitely check out that trailer once we're all done because that sounds wonderful. I love mascots, and the thought of just a bunch of misunderstood and crazy mascots doing the dumbest things, that's a good time.
Yeah, like the main one that you talked to, she like, I don't even remember what she is. She just looks like a weird thumb, like this weird misshapen thing. I don't know. It looked crazy. It looked nuts. But hey, everybody, if you haven't seen some indie stuff in a while, go check out this ID at Xbox Showcase. Like I said, there's weird presentation issues with it, but you do get to see a lot of unique, really interesting games. Maybe some will resonate with you, maybe some won't, but you should just take some time out of your day and go see it because cool creators are doing cool things, and we didn't have time to tell you all about every one of them, so you should go and find out what we're missing out on.
That's right. Find out what we missed out on. Tell us about it, too, as you always do over there in the Discord. Hang out, let us know which ones I have to go back and watch because I'm a doofus and didn't see them all because I want to know what your thoughts are on it.
And of course, you can send that to us. You already spoiled the Discord, but you can send it to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine at ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook on Third Shift, the Discord, the Patreon. You know what? When I'm live streaming on Twitch, if I do that, jump in and say, like, hey, man, did you remember this game? And I'll go, what are you talking about? Oh, my God, I'm in Persona 3 world. What are you talking about? Come knock on my door and be like, hey, bro, heard about this game? And I'll go, I'm scared. I don't answer the door in my house. I block out the window so you can't see me. Just do that stuff. Do those things.
Do all those things and head over to Patreon, folks. Go over there and go, I want to throw all my money your way. And you go do that too. It's $1, $2, all the dollars goes right into the tip jar. And we go, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, yay. And then we go pay bills and do the things. And then we can buy upgrades and things to do. And maybe someday afford like a star to come on the show. Like, we can be like, hey, we'll pay you a star person to really get on the show and help us out. And then they'll be like, sure thing, kids. That could be a thing you could do for us if you throw money our way at the old Patreon.
Let's say their thing, kids, and then they'll come on the show and be like, oh, you guys are way older than I am. Oh, man, you're a bunch of old creeps. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's probably how it will go down, for sure. But if you can't, throw us a tip in the old tip jar. That's fine. Get on over to Discord. We already just talked about it. Get to iTunes, for God's sakes. Every podcaster tells you. Every podcaster knows, all of you know, because you've heard it a billion times, that it's important, helps us out. But most of you don't. And that's okay. Because, that's just the way the world works. But that's all right. But maybe do it. Maybe just do it.
And maybe at the very least, for God's sakes, listen to the very next episode, which will be dropping on or around the 9th of May, because I don't have anything going on Thursday night that week that I know of.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we can go back to a regular schedule, and you listeners can be like, oh, finally, I can listen to it fresh on a Friday instead of listening to it weird on a Thursday. Oh, my goodness.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? That would be so wonderful. But maybe this is your punishment for not giving us those 5 stars on the iTunes. Maybe it's disrupting your whole world and not putting a thing out on the day we're supposed to be putting out religiously so that you understand always, and making you freak out and think it's a Friday, but it's a Thursday, and then your day's ruined, and then you blame us for it and you're mad at us about it. Maybe if you gave us 5-star ratings, you wouldn't have to do that.
And see, I was just thinking, man, maybe if you don't give us a 5-star rating, we'll do it another day earlier, and then another day earlier, and then another day earlier. And I went, no, I don't want to record and put this up on a Saturday night. We're not doing that. But if you give us 5-star reviews, we'll go back to Thursday night drops for a Friday morning podcast. I guarantee it. And you can find that podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, we sure do, folks. We appreciate it. All to the moons. And, of course, that's all there is for the show today. So we kind of got it a little weird, a little backwards. I'm kind of the one kind of outroing this. It's kind of strange. This is another punishment. This is a punishment for you. Matt's the one that takes us out. But here I am, awkwardly talking still. And not doing the last little bit where you're like, guys, it's it. End the show. Well, you know what to do. I don't know. What do we do? Do we do the thing?
And with that, there's nothing else to say but ciao, ciao. I'm going to go mow my lawn. Don't forget to say
Shut up and sit down.
That's right. Mow my lawn, suckers.